Welcome to WitnessUp.com and thank you for joining us on today's show. Well, I was watching the Superb Owl, or the Super Bowl, I should say, and I noticed a couple things, right? I already mentioned this. I got a playlist going on YouTube all about the Super Bowl and its commercials. Go check it out. Or if you're watching this at WitnessUp.com, check out our other videos on the Super Bowl topic. Now, I noticed they did a trailer to Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. And I went to go do a video on this topic because I collected a bunch of screenshots from the trailer. And as soon as I went to go record it the first time, I noticed something. There's a bunch of fanboys that went crazy and started suggesting that this trailer for the Multiverse of Madness was hinting that they were going to introduce Marvel's The Illuminati. You got that right. The Illuminati of Marvel. I'm going to get into this. Either way, guys, this is my, again, third attempt doing this. The reason being is you just can't make it up. I had a long intro, but you should just see the writing on the wall. You should see that there's truthers like myself everywhere. Some that do it better than I, some that don't do it as much. It doesn't matter. You see all these people exposing the enemy day in and day out to the point where you know what it is. You see the all-seeing eye in a pyramid and you understand it. Just like when you walk around and you see a face covering. You think that there's something there, even though you don't see it, right? So that being said, guys, this is ridiculous, okay? I'm going to start off just with the trailer breakdown. It starts off, guys, with a Stairway to Heaven. A little Babylonian reference in here. Why? Because it's a movie all about magic. You got to talk about Babylon, right? Then you see some guy, some character in here who's tied up. Looks like he's on some fiery limbs tied up, like he's a prisoner. And the way that he's laying is like in a ritualistic pose, doing the 5 points, 4 with his limbs and 1 with his head. You see this big beast come up to devour him, and you know that it's a sacrifice. It verifies it. Then you see Doctor Strange in his quarters practicing magic, right? Magic that looks a lot like blood clots because there's a lot of that going around. Remember, he's a doctor, guys, and they're having a lot of health issues popping up. I think it might have something to do with the juice that they're trying to get everybody to drink. Might have something to do with the snake bite. But it's interesting that his magic looks like blood clots. Then you see him sitting in a ritual circle. Obviously, I already hear it in the comments. Well, it's Doctor Strange. It's all about magic, isn't it? Yes, obviously. But do you think they're giving you a far-fetched example of what magic looks like? Do you think they're giving you, like, some movie version of it? No. This is an actual ritual circle. This is actually what they do in magic. Aleister Crowley talks about this. We've covered this on multiple videos. All these dark arts teachers talk about this, about why the ritual circle is so important. Then you see the Scarlet Witch, who is mentioned in the Bible, by the way. Then you see this character who looks like he has the head of a goat or a beast of some sort, but the body of a man, standing up against an army. Now, I'm sure since Disney owns Marvel, they're going to have this little, he's a lovable, funny character, and he's half goat, half man, not realizing that it's a direct reference to the Baphomet, or being a beast as a person. Then you see the whole interception, right? The whole city going upside down. The city's now in the sky, and it's looking down at you. We've covered this topic. We have a video on our proof tab on WitnessUp.com that says the upside down proof. Go check it out. Upside down and reverse is very important to the occult. It's very important to them. Why? Because they do everything in reverse. You're supposed to praise God. He created you. They praise the devil. When they read the Bible, they read God as a bad guy and Lucifer as a good guy. It's blasphemy and it's upside down, and that's what this is a direct reference to. Then you see that Doctor Strange gets arrested because he's abusing his magic powers, and he goes aboard ahead of this council, right? There's 6 chairs on this council, which is funny because I just spoke of this during the halftime show performance. 6 being the number of who? Lucifer. That's a very important number to the occult, the number 6. This is where people are getting the whole theory, he's introducing the Illuminati. That's why people are saying this. Because there's a voice that sounds like Sir Patrick Harris, And they're like, oh, that's Professor X, and he's a part of the Illuminati. I don't get into all the dweeb stuff. I get into the exposing stuff. Ephesians 5:11, baby. Let's keep it rolling. We'll come back to it. Then you see this one-eyed monster with tentacles, right? No subliminal meaning there, right? It's an Illuminati movie, and they're fighting a beast with one eye. Then you see Doctor Strange talking to a statue of himself, which is a symbol and a representation of idolatry. Any child that watches this movie is already going to want to be like Doctor Strange. They're going to want to go out there and partake in magic and witchcraft and sorcery. They're going to think that if they do the two fingers held up like the Baphomet and like Doctor Strange, they're going to have some sort of powers. So when you throw a statue in there that he's worshiping of himself, that's not just self-worship, that's idolatry. And it sucks for all these kids that are going to watch it. You see some more clips from him fighting this one-eyed beast. And then you see, of course they have to have the doppelgangers. So the Scarlet Witch, there's apparently a good one and a bad one. There's no good witch. Then they got Doctor Strange, a sorcerer, and they have a bad one. There's no good or bad sorcerer. They're all evil. They're all partaking in magic, and magic is magic. The Bible strictly tells us we are prohibited from partaking in sorcery, witchcraft, psychics, fortune tellers. It says this time and time again. There's no good or bad. I hear a lot of modern day Christians sticking up for Disney, sticking up for what it produces, sticking up for magic, not understanding, again, the Aleister Crowleys and all these evil men who put this in effect. They'll turn around and talk about Adolf from World War II. I'll try not to red flag myself and get this kicked off of any platform. And they'll say, oh, he was an evil man. Of course he was. He has books talking about his occult teachings. Of course he was. And then they'll turn around and say, oh, this is the good Doctor Strange. That's the bad one. But it's funny because the bad Doctor Strange, if you want to use that title, on here is summoning demonic entities. And they all have this black gooey substance on them that we've been seeing time and time again in more movies. My brother Call for an Uprising goes great on the science aspect of this topic. We have videos on it, but my brother Call for an Uprising stays sharp on this topic specifically. Go check out his channel. Then you see the bad Doctor Strange grow an extra 4 hands. Now he has the 6 hands, right? We've seen this time and time again as well. Big in the occult, big in just the evil side of it. So that's just breakdown of Doctor Strange's multiverse of madness. So I started looking up stuff, right? Because if you know me, if you've listened to my videos, I like giving you what's presented to me. Then I like to break down all the agendas in it. Then I like to give my 2 cents. So before I went to go, do the agendas in it, I wanted to know more about them. So I searched up dweebs like this guy, Comic Drake, who starts his video off by saying, oh, look at the picture, by the way, on the screen, right? He puts his eye in the middle of a triangle, and he says, oh, before I talk about Marvel's Illuminati, just know this. I don't believe in the Illuminati. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. We're talking about the actual only Illuminati, Marvel's Illuminati. And you just can't make it up, man. You know how to do their gang signs, but you think it's a conspiracy theory? Come on. Then I typed in some other guys, these other nerds, the new rock stars, and they had an hour-long video that I fast-forwarded multiple times, and they are the nerdiest people I think I've ever heard talk. I don't think they've ever had a girlfriend a day in their life. Maybe they don't care if they do or not. Maybe they're not into that type of thing. I don't really care. But it was the worst thing I think I've ever listened to. Oh, when I heard Sir Patrick Harris was going to be, Professor Xavier as an 8-year-old, I already knew he was a perfect fan cast. And it's like, what are you talking about? These guys actually have videos talking about the nerdiest things and going in depth on them. Not even just breaking down the movies. You're talking like stuff like, oh, and then it was after this war in this comic book when they started wanting to originate the crew, and this guy comes from this planet, and this is his backstory, and you just can't make it up. But they also said, we're not talking about the conspiracy, the Illuminati, these made-up people. And then it's funny because as they said Illuminati, you can see on my screenshot here that YouTube gave them some context on what the Illuminati is. So you're saying it's a conspiracy, and yet they're giving you information on the topic. And yet you know how to do the triangle on your eye, as if you're mocking. showing everybody the all-seeing eye. See, the problem with a lot of these YouTubers is they're sellouts. They get money and they get a script. And I'm not buying it. If you're awake, you know. If you know, you know. So let me give you some little backstory, okay? Because I'm not into all this stuff. I'm not going to watch these dweebs talking about like, oh, when Professor X lost his legs and this is when Tony Stark realized he needed to step up and be a hero. I could care less. Here's the context, because I just Googled it at this point. I was like, I'm not watching this. All these people are like making fun of the topic, and they're so happy that they're doing the Illuminati that they're not understanding what I'm doing a video about, right? So I type in Illuminati, Marvel Illuminati, and it says, the Illuminati are a fictional secret society and group of superheroes appearing in the American comic book published by Marvel. Now it says, fictional secret society. You look a little bit deeper, and these are like all the elites of Marvel, if you will. You have leaders of all the groups. So Iron Man being the leader of the Avengers, Professor X being the leader of the X-Men. You got Doctor Strange, the leader of magic. You got, I don't know, dude, all these other guys, right? From all these places that are leaders that are supposed to stop crime in the multiverse, specifically, from what I gathered from it. My point is here, all these comic book nerds are like, oh no, that's a conspiracy, and this is what they're talking about when they talk about the Illuminati. They're talking about the comic books. Well, here's a fun fact. The Illuminati was founded May 1st, 1776. If you've ever heard that term, like when a plane's going down on a movie or something, they're like, Mayday, Mayday. That's why they say Mayday so much. They want you to know about it. The Illuminati was founded May 1st, 1776. Mayday. The comic book, Marvel's Illuminati, was created July 2005. You're a lot of years off here. I mean, I'm no mathematician. I'm no tactician. But man, 1776 was when the Illuminati was founded. And then 2005 when the comic book was founded. And we're conspiracy theorists. You know, you see the all-seeing eye on money. You see it on books, historical monuments. I even got this little clip in here that I wanted to put up because there's 43 people on just one article that are celebrities, 43 celebrities that have the all-seeing eye tattooed on them. And it's a conspiracy, right? Any of these celebrities, you line them up, they got some satanic or occult reference tattooed on their body. It's on our dollar bill. It's on monuments. It's on books. Adolf Hitler speaks about it. You can't, so all of a sudden, I'm a conspiracy person because I heard what they said about World War II? It's just common sense. It's history. The problem with this is people close their eyes to it and they don't want to know about it. They want you to leave their Marvel alone. Leave their Disney alone. Oh, evil's never going away, but let me watch my Disney, not realizing that they're welcoming the occult into their home. Then they turn around saying stuff like their spouse needs an exorcism. This is stuff that I see online, by the way. Oh, my spouse needs an exorcism. Oh, and they try to use like all these terms from the Bible, but then they don't apply it to their everyday entertainment. They'll say things like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do for entertainment? I don't know. Take your kids outside and play ball with them. Go camping for a little bit. Go for a walk. We're the fattest country on earth. Go for a walk. People love their dogs more than their kids. Go take your dog for a walk. Go take your kids somewhere. Go to the mall. Go buy them something. I don't know, anything. It's not like these movies are anything special. That's the sad part. You got Jason in space. You have Freddy Krueger on the 50th movie. You have Alien versus Predator 17,000. You have all this stuff, right? All these remakes. All these reenactments. The stories don't even change. They're just different casts. They redid every single movie from the 80s, which had better movies than they do now, by the way. What do you mean you don't know what to do to entertain yourself? What do you mean you don't know what to listen to? We're in end times. I'm not telling you just listen to the Bible in your car on audiobooks, but it's not a bad idea. If you can't see all this stuff for what it is, you're lacking somewhere, and that's for the stereotypical Christian that has their nose up in the air like, oh yeah, I read the Bible, and oh, what I learned when I got saved 12 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago was and then they try to, like, frown on everybody. But then they turn around and watch Disney. Then they turn around and they're all about hip-hop. Then they turn around and they're like, oh, I vote for such and such because he's God sent. No, these are all agendas right in front of your face. They all worship the same thing. Don't be surprised. Look at Disney Plus has a section on there where it says The Simpsons Predict. And it's all about The Simpsons predictions. I guess that's a conspiracy too, right? When you hear the owners, the writers of The Simpsons talking about their Freemasonic belief, they say that they're members of Freemasonry. There's proof of this. They just know of events that are gonna happen. They look forward to these events. They make a show about it. And all of a sudden, they predicted something. No, they didn't predict anything. They're there to give you predictive programming. They're there to give you the agenda. They're presenting it like it's nice, so when it comes to your door, you'll accept it instead of being like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why is this happening? Then it's like, oh, you're too worried about The Simpsons doing it that you don't even realize the facts behind it. What's going on? You don't have a real world reaction to it. Don't be surprised when you go on Disney Plus and it says, oh, Marvel's Illuminati section. Here's what you need to know. Marvel Illuminati, episode 1, behind the scenes of the Illuminati. What was it based on? It was based on conspiracy theorists. All these nutsos that notice, Dave Bautista has the all-seeing eye tattooed on him. This artist sold his soul. This artist has it tattooed on his neck. Justin Bieber has it on his arm. You got Katy Perry with it on her wrist with the all-seeing eye with Saturn in the middle, telling you that they worship Satan. All these people just getting eyeballs tattooed on them, right? Tom Hanks' son, pretending he's a thug. You're not a thug, dude. Your dad's a millionaire. You're not a thug. But you got the all-seeing eye tattooed on you, don't you? It goes back to Egypt, and you hear the halfway in Christian. Oh, evil's always been there and it's not going anywhere. Well, way to fight and make it go away. Got people like this comic guy throwing it up, making fun of it. It's nothing to joke about. Do you think sacrifice is a joking matter? Do you think rituals are funny? Do you think all this stuff is just a joke? You love your entertainers so much that you can't just say it's wrong. You can't just see, the thing is, a lot of people are like, what am I supposed to do? Never watch a movie? No, I watch the Super Bowl. That's how I seen this. But I watch it to expose the agendas, to see how they're trying to trick me in my home, so I could tell my loved ones not to be tricked. I recommend you do the same. You don't have to have a channel. You don't have to take the time to talk to people about it. Protect your kids, your spouse, the ones that you love, because this country is coming to an end. We're very close to enslavement. And it ain't going to be just by color. It ain't going to be by age. It ain't going to be by what your sexual preference is. I'm talking enslavement on a mass level. I have multiple videos on this topic. Don't let them distract you with this witchcraft and sorcery. Don't be all hyped up like, oh, I wonder who's going to buy my favorite football team. Oh, I wonder what movie Kevin Hart's going to be on next. It's like, it doesn't matter. They act the same in all their movies. Kevin Hart and The Rock are good examples. They are the same character in every movie. They talk the same. They act the same. There's nothing creative or funny about any of these people in entertainment. And yet you give them literally your time, your energy, your anticipation. Don't give them your spirit. That's what they're trying to do with all these agendas. They're trying to get your spirit, literally. They talk about it. You think they just made a movie about magic just because they can? No, they made a movie about magic because it's a thing. And if it's a thing, then God's a thing. And that's what Witness Up is about. We're exposing the enemies, right? Ephesians 5:11, trying to get people closer to God. And I pray that you could do that in prayer and repentance. I love you guys. And just know that whoever you are, wherever you are, I pray for you. I pray for your home, your loved ones in these crazy times. I pray that you guys aren't affected by these traps and trickery, right? The tools and devices that Lucifer tries to use to win you over. Because God's the only one that's victorious. All honor, praise, thanks, glory, and victory be to Yahushua HaMashiach, the one we call Jesus. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, guys. There's one more thing I wanted to add about this before I started doing my rant. You know, this video, or this movie I should say, comes out on May 6th. Okay? Now, May 6th has importance in history. You could track it back yourself. Do that work yourself, guys. But now, May 6th, remember I told you guys May Day? That's when the Illuminati was founded, May 1st. 6 is an important number to the occult. We talked about this in this video, right? But it comes out May 6th. I looked up the past history, and again, there's stuff on that. I'm not going to get too crazy on that because that'll be a longer video. But nowadays, May 6th is National Space Day. If you've watched my other videos, you know how I feel about space. A bunch of baloney. And it's also National Nurses Day, which is crazy, right? Multiverse of madness. Multi-universes. Space Day. Doctor Strange, who started out as a doctor, and it's National Nurse Day. You know, these people are a lot craftier than we give them credit. And they do believe in craft, right? You see Doctor Strange practicing witchcraft, practicing magic. They're very, very good at what they do. If they're staying sharp, and if they know the word, and they're trying to deceive you, those are 3 big points that you need to look out for. Be strong in your word. Be strong in fasting. Be strong in your prayer. Be strong in Him. We're in the middle of spiritual warfare, and it's never been as intense. There's never been as much like symbolic and subliminal stuff wrapped up and jam-packed into like a 2-hour movie, a 20-minute halftime show, a 2-minute music video. We're living in the end times, and I love you all. I pray again that you find the Most High Yahushua HaMashiach, the one we call Jesus, in prayer and repentance. I pray that you know that we love you, and that we're praying for you over here consistently, whoever listens to these messages, that you get closer to our Father. It's not us that speaks, but Him who speaks through us. We don't want you to follow us or our ministry, our channel. We want you to follow Him. All honor, praise, thanks, glory, and victory be to our Father, our Abba. I love you all, and Yah bless.